an afterthought. What we felt and said. Red wine in your bed. On the naked floor. Behind that gated door. Always so discreet. On 14 Washburn Street.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Georgia and this is Georgia Unplugged. I have some nice herbal tea today. So it's been a while. I've been sick basically, and then we had the holidays. So I hope everyone had a good Christmas and New Year, or whatever you celebrated. We were all pretty sick. I know the last video I was a little bit under the weather when I made elderberry syrup. It didn't really help because we were too far gone by that point. We ended up on antibiotics. We all had some bacterial lung infection thing. It was a bit hardcore. I went and had blood tests done, and I'm also slightly anemic, so that's okay. I can handle that. I'm much better. We're all better. I did get the norovirus a couple of days before Christmas, short-lived, 24 hours, but you know, Christmas was a quiet affair basically. Oh, hang on, the cat needs to go out one moment. There you go. Okay, where was I? Yes, the cat wanted to go out. Yeah, so it was a quiet Christmas, but it was a nice Christmas. We basically spent time together as a family. We opened presents. We kind of went for walks, not really. It's hard to get the kids to get dressed in the holidays. They're so funny because it's so regimented during school time, getting up so early, leaving the house at 7:20 in the morning, walking to school, wrapping yourself up so warm. And just the work and the discipline that they need, by the time it gets to the holidays, they're just collapsing. And they're needed. I give them the downtime. I let them sleep. We stay up a bit later, we just hang out together. It's been nice. We didn't really do anything that productive, sorted out some things. But, do you know, New Year and we're back on track. School starts on Tuesday, it's a holiday here on Monday. So we've got 2 more full days after today to get our bums off our seats and do something. I make New Year's resolutions every year, like most people. Quite often it's health related. I will go to the gym, I will stop drinking, or stop drinking so much, I will start eating healthier, I will have breakfast. I'm really bad at having breakfast. I tend to just have tea and then I get really strung out with too much caffeine and no food. But I've been better, and since my doctor diagnosed me as anemic, only slightly anemic, nothing bad, I decided to step up my iron intake. I do have some iron tablets at work in my drawer, which I take sometimes anyway. But I know they're not so great for you and they can stuff you up a bit. So I want to go more their natural route. So I bought a big bag of spinach, stuck it in the freezer, and I've been having a smoothie every morning with spinach and blueberries and oats. I soak the oats, almost like liquid porridge, so it fills me up as well. Chia seeds, whatever I can find. Every day is different. I found some curcuma, which I bought, some curcuma, pure curcuma actually, so I'll stick a teaspoon of that in, which has actually helped my kind of hip aching. This is the old age thing, right? Anyone else who's over 40. I do start to get aches in my hips sometimes, especially at night if I'm lying on my side. So I find that curcuma really helps soothe the pain, soothe the inflammation away. So having this every day, it's been about 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. I'm trying to think now what the date is. Whatever. Since I started the smoothies, and I've noticed that all pain has actually gone. I don't know if I've got more energy yet. I think it takes quite a few weeks for the iron levels to go up. I should probably eat more red meat, but I'm not a big meat eater really. So every so often we'll have a spaghetti bolognese, or my husband will make meatballs, but because our little 6-year-old is mostly vegetarian, we often buy vegan alternatives, which isn't my favourite, but you know, we go with what everyone wants. So yes, I bought some kale. I made some kale chips over the holidays because I had time to actually dedicate to making food and doing things nicely. I just wish I had more time. You know, if I didn't have to work, I could dedicate all this time to just looking after my family, looking after myself, growing more vegetables in summer rather than the 10 tomatoes I got last year and 3 cucumbers, which is still quite good, but I'd like to increase that this year. So my plans for this year, and I've been watching some YouTube videos on planners and planning and how to make this your best year yet, and my takeaways are just a few things which might be interesting and worthwhile for others. First of all, I've always struggled with the right diary. I got this great diary with Flow magazine, I think about 4 or 5 years ago now, and it was the best one ever. It had a week on the left hand page, right hand page was notes, and then you always had a few pages of notes in between each month, loads of space to write loads of other things down. I was doing tarot reading at that point, like pulling a card a day or an oracle card, and I was writing down all these things, and it was really great. Yeah, that was actually the year my dad died. I think I lost my job. There was lots going on, so I was trying to focus very much on where I wanted my future to be. And this diary was so great, and Flow discontinued it the following year. I actually subscribed to the magazine to get this diary, and it was the best thing. And I subscribed for another year after that, and I have 2 years or 3 years worth of Flow magazines downstairs, of which I haven't read all of them, but they're wonderful. If you don't know it, it's very much a relaxy, time out, slow living magazine, and it has some beautiful photos and just everything. I use it a lot for my vision boards when I make them, because they have just great photography and pictures and drawings. Yeah, so I had this great diary. Last year I actually made my own diary. I decided I was going to copy the one, made my own completely in Canva. Literally all the dates, copied each page, took me ages, took me probably a day to do it. And then I put it up on Amazon KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, as a hard copy, because I thought if I could sell one, then at least I recouped some of my time spent. And I bought myself 2 author copies, one for myself and one for my sister, and no one bought another one, which is fine because I made it for myself. But actually even the 2 author copies were probably cheaper than buying myself a really decent diary or planner. So that worked out well, but I didn't really use it because I put too many notes in between it was too much space, funnily enough. I wasn't in a space where I needed all that writing, so it was just blank pages, mostly where I didn't fill in anything. And I put in so much work. So I have the base. I can redo it again maybe for next year, take some of the extra pages out. We'll see. But this year I've decided to go back to bullet journaling, which is what I did in between when my kids were younger. I have this notebook. You can see it's from Flow. A blank notebook with beautiful pictures, beautiful frames. I mean, I love their stationery stuff. This came free instead of the diary, I think, the following year. So they have really nice things, some lined. It's not bullet journal paper, so it doesn't have the dot matrix, which I did do for a couple of years, but I'm determined to use it as a diary so I can fill it in as and when I need it. I use my phone mostly anyway for appointments. We have a calendar in the kitchen for everyone, and that's basically what I need. So I've done my first page, my yearly planner, which includes each date for each month and the moons, for example, here. See, can you see that? Yeah, I think it's focusing. So that's kind of cool. It was a lot of work, took me a couple of days because nobody lets me do anything in this house. But let me focus it again properly. But yeah, and I bought this really cool printer, a little thermal printer. I think it was an Instagram thing, but then I actually went to Amazon, I think, to buy it. It's so cool. That's how I printed the calendars, and my daughter is loving it as well. We printed the labels for presents on it as well, because you can cut them out, colour them in. It's great. You can print photos in black and white. I tested this when I first got it. A little cat and a moon. I found something online So it's just cute. It's a really nice thing to do, and it's got her off a screen a lot. She likes to go on her Switch to watch YouTube videos or play Minecraft or things. So this actually has got her in her diary as well. She got her journal back out, and she was doing a whole little sheet on Christmas and what she received, and it's great. So that little printer has been a godsend. I also bought another label printer just to label all my things, so I know what's in everything in the kitchen mostly. So I went a bit printer mad, and it's not like me to buy things. I've actually really bought hardly anything in the last year new for myself, only really things for the kids or for the house that we needed. So it was quite a nice treat, but you know, you don't need that if you don't need it. I feel like we did. And one good thing also, when I went to London, from the video I posted recently, back early November, I spent a few hours in a bookshop in Foyles in London, and I picked out some books for my 9-year-old because she's tried so many books to read, hasn't got into them. We do have the whole level that her cousin, who's now 12, she read all the Harry Potter books when she was 7. So she's really way ahead in her reading age anyway. She's now got a reading age of almost 17. She's amazing, she's hardworking, she's the sweetest girl. I love her so much. And obviously this is the benchmark I hold my daughter to, not directly but internally. And I've just been trying to get her to read because I love reading. And I bought her a Clara Speen book in London. Clara Speen is just basically a cute girl, and it's written for her age range. It's by the woman who wrote the Charlie and Lola books, if anybody knows them, just for slightly older. And she loved it, and she read it in 3 days, cover to cover, sort of 180 pages or something. I went, right, bring it on. And I bought 3 more now, and she's read 3 out of the 4 books. The 4th one she got for Christmas, but she was still reading the other book. Great, I'm so excited. And we went to the library last week with a friend, and she found the English book section, which was only 1 bookshelf in the whole library. And she went in and she got herself 5 English books and went, I'm going to read these, Mum, and brought them home. And it's just great. Suddenly the switch went, you know. The key is not to push your kids before they're ready. She has been a late bloomer in many ways, walking, learning to read, I suppose, in a way. Food, she's not as fussy as she used to be. She's still quite fussy, but she does try things at least. Just walking to school alone even, like I've said before, so many German kids walk from 6, 7 onwards by themselves without their parents. I still walk them in the morning, but she comes back sometimes by herself or scoots by herself. And it's taken a few years, she's in 4th grade now, but it's great, you know, give her the time, give her the opportunity, and she did it of her own volition when she was ready and she wasn't pushed into it. And I find that really, really important, that she's not pushed before she's ready, because she's maturing into this wonderful, wonderful girl. I mean, she's going to be 10 next year, so this year, oh God. So yes, my baby is growing up, and her being 10 means I'm going to be 50. Yay! Quite looking forward to that really though, it's going to be great. So what are the changes I want to make for 2025? I want to, first of all, things I'm not going to change is I want to continue not buying myself new things that I don't need. Not buying things with a kitchen that I don't need, not buying new clothes. I buy most of my clothes now from Vinted or Selfie or charity shops, or I found a pair of winter boots in a box outside our neighbour's house. They're fine, they needed cleaning up a little bit, but they were really decent winter boots just to wear when it snows. I wouldn't wear them to work, but they fit me, and they'd been put out maybe an hour beforehand. We live in quite a well-to-do neighbourhood, so people do this a lot. I've given away some really amazing stuff as well. And people walk past, we have a lot of footfall down our street, and people just pick stuff up, and it's great. So boots, it was just amazing, I couldn't believe it. And you know, when I'm done with them, I'll just probably give them to a charity shop or something. So it's great. And my sister gives me a lot of her clothes that she doesn't want. She likes to buy a lot, and she comes to visit and showers me with gifts and then takes half my clothes away. So we have a little circular loop going on when it comes to our clothes, which is great. But it saves me not only money, but it's more sustainable. I really want to work on sustainability, and I'll do another video on what I do for sustainability, because I try and do my own little bit. If everyone could do their own little bit, it would make a huge difference versus 1,000 people going completely zero waste. You know, that is such a high benchmark. It's much better we all just do our 10%, and then it'll help so much more. I follow this great YouTuber called Gita Marie something. I'll put a link to her account below, and she's got some great zero waste or low waste and sustainability videos, and some others as well, but she's currently my favourite. So I will continue to not buy all these new things, because that's worked out great for me. I've actually got rid of a lot of things. I started decluttering about 18 months ago, and I go through phases. The kitchen is much better, fewer glasses, fewer cups. Just, you don't need so much stuff, and even pans. You just need 1 pan for each hob. And in fact, we still have 6 pans, 2 frying pans and 4 pans, and you never use them all at once. And if you do use it and you need to use it again, then wash it up. You know, you don't have to stick them on the dishwasher and go, oh no, but it's dirty, get another pan out. It's just too much. Got rid of the hand mixer. I gave that to a friend who needed one. It feels great giving away things. It feels great throwing things out if they're broken, selling things if you can make some money. It's just nice. And I need to work more on my clothes, because I do still have quite a lot. I did get rid of a lot, and I've sold quite a few unvinted, but I need to try harder. And so one thing I will be doing in the next day or 2 left is sort through my clothes again, sort through the kids' clothes, things they've outgrown, summer clothes from last year that I still haven't gone through, that will definitely not fit them this year, and just what they don't wear. There's no point having clothes that they just don't like and they won't wear. So halve it, chuck it out, give it away, charity shop. We're having a charity drive at work that I organised with the boss for people to donate things, and we will drive everything to the local charity shop. They have an almost drive-through bit where you can deliver stuff, and that way we can give away a lot of clothes, and it'll be for a good cause. So that's something I'll be doing, I believe, next week, so I better get on with it, with the sorting. So that's one thing I want to do. My husband also has some clothes, but mostly t-shirts, and he sorts his own things out really. He only has 1 pair of long trousers, and in this weather, not ideal. It's still below freezing centigrade out here, about -4 now. It was -10 this morning. We have a polar vortex apparently coming this weekend, but it's beautiful. It's snowy, it's sunny, it's so nice outside. And for someone who hates winter, it's quite a positive thing to say, because the sun is so wonderful. And we had clear skies last night, and I wanted to see the meteor shower that you could see by the Big Dipper, which was that way when you went to bed, and I couldn't see it because we have too much light pollution. So if I'm feeling brave and not too tired, I might drive just to the north of the city tonight to see if we can see some of the meteor showers once it's dark, like at 6 or 7. But I do need to get the kids to bed early, because school is going to be a nightmare on Tuesday otherwise, getting them up early after all these late nights. So we'll see, but it'll be great to see the meteor shower. So I talked about, my bullet journal, start that up again. And the best thing about bullet journaling is that you don't have to keep it up continuously. You don't have to do each month and the diary thing. I did that the first year and it was too much effort, but I had a newborn. My boy was newborn then, and I seemed to have more time because I wasn't working. I had the whole year off. I had 7 months off, but without my head having work in it, I could deal with other things, and it was great, and I've still got it. Did some really cool pictures, just designs, but I want to be more practical, have some diary things, maybe some to-do lists, some long-term to-do lists, journaling, use it for journaling as well. I think I'll try and use it for everything and take it with me as my brain dump, I suppose, in many ways. I also have this really cool little thing that I've been writing called a commonplace book. Now, commonplacing was something that was very big in a Renaissance period, where people wrote down, essentially like taking notes on your phone, if that's what you do, or screenshots. I take screenshots and never look at them again. Anything interesting that happens, I write down in here. I'm still learning it. I've got like new words, some wonderful quotes, great online resources, life hacks, movies to watch, important things to remember, funny quotes from my kids. Yes, I'm not going to bore you with any of the content, but it's really nice and it's small, so I can take it with me, stick it in my pocket, stick it in my bag, and whenever something happens, I hear something, oh, I need to look that up, oh, that's interesting, I'll write it in my commonplace book rather than put it on my phone or going, oh, I remember that, and then instantly I forget it. You know, I think I even have ideas for YouTube videos. I write them there because the ideas come to me at random places and times. So that's always a nice thing. So Commonplace book is great. And once I've been keeping it for a few months, I've had it I think for 2 or 3 months now. I might do a separate one on it once I really know exactly how it works. I'm still learning. So that then takes me on to meditation and yoga. Yoga I've not done for a long time. I think almost 2 years ago I last did it. But I haven't done it for that long. I used to do it a lot. I started when I was 16. We did an extra class in school, which was amazing. And that's the first time I tried it. And then throughout my, not university, but after that, I got into Kundalini yoga when we lived at St Albans. And it was amazing. It was life-changing for me, this whole area. And yogi tea, which was this amazing drink at that point. Basically, Indian chai. And they used to make it themselves, my teacher and her husband who ran the group. It was just a really life-changing experience, and it got me into yoga and the Kundalini part of it for a long time. And then I kind of lost it. We moved to Germany and I never joined the Kundalini group. I did find a yoga teacher I went to for a while. She was part of the International Women's Club and she was great, but it was more of a fitness thing. So I wanted to go back to the Kundalini yoga people, but it'd be in German, and even though my German's fine, it's not my soul, you know, it doesn't speak to me like English would. So I've done lots of online classes, but I just need to get back into it. And I have a yoga mat, the kids have a yoga mat each, and we have done things like that together. So I love doing things with them. I love doing stuff like yoga with them and exercise and just everything. Journaling even, we sit down together. You know, I moved the bureau that we have downstairs. I switched it with my cupboard that I had down there with candles and things in, and we now all use it. I use it to do my journaling. It's in the living room, it's not up here, which is my work corner really. So I'm separating my work from my personal space and my personal life, and the kids can do it. They can do their homework there if they don't want to sit together, and it's great. Well, currently they can't do anything in the kitchen table anyway because I've taken it over with my jigsaw puzzle. My sister bought me a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle for Christmas. First one I've had I think in 3 or 4 years. I don't do them very often, but I love them. It seems, I never knew I loved jigsaw puzzles, but I do, and I haven't finished it yet because the trees, they all look the same, the leaves and the pink flowers. I'm struggling with it, but I'm determined to finish it. I got quite a few pieces finished yesterday, and maybe I can finish it today. But when I'm not doing that, or when I'm doing that, I'm not doing anything else like sorting out things or spending time with my kids. But I need to do that. I'll finish today or tomorrow, and then everyone will be off my back. It's been up since, I think, Boxing Day, so we can't even eat at the kitchen table. We can't do anything because I've just completely hijacked the kitchen. So, never mind. Such is life. My husband hijacks it to paint his Dungeons and Dragons figures that he prints on his new 3D printer. You know, so it is both of us, although he can move it. I can't move it until I've actually finished it. I did have a big mat for my last jigsaw I did. I think I tried one about 2 or 3 years ago. I bought the mat, did it, and then I'd roll it up, and then I put it on its side because it's supposed to stay, and half the bits would fall out, and then suddenly I just found all these jigsaw bits everywhere, and some got hoovered up, and I just ended up throwing the whole thing out because I couldn't handle the thought of having a dozen pieces missing from this huge jigsaw. That was bad enough. So the mat didn't work for me. Anyway, jigsaw aside, meditation. I do a daily meditation. I have done on and off for quite a long time, quite some years. Sometimes I have weeks without, sometimes it's even been months, but more often than not, I do it at least 3 to 4 times a week. I write my gratitude journal when I can be bothered, when I feel like I need it. I try to do daily. I do it again probably 3 or 4 times a week. I write down 10 things I'm grateful for, and then life goals, and it's great. And then I read it all through just quietly. I sometimes do it before meditation, sometimes after, sometimes everyone gets up, then I can't do anything. But I try to do meditation by myself, just sitting in silence, which I love doing, or I use Aura, which is a cool app. I think I did a free thing from someone else's YouTube channel when they sponsored it, and I really liked it, and then I got a really fantastic discount because I googled all the discounts, and I still have it, and I do the live one sometimes. If I'm working from home, it's the daytime one. I like the morning ones. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I will do a nighttime one, set it on a timer, fall asleep, wake up, headphones still in, not ideal. But mostly I do it in the mornings. I'll sit on the sofa and I'll just do a quiet meditation. That or YouTube meditations. I know I found, was it Boho Beautiful? They did yoga and meditations. I came across those a couple of years ago. They had some beautiful things, and I even joined their membership for a while, but I stopped that as well. It wasn't really my thing. But there's so much out there. You don't have to pay for these things. Even Aura is free. The basics are free. You don't have to pay for things like that. Or even Headspace. I paid for Headspace for a couple of years at one point. I've pretty much paid for most of Insight Timer. I think I paid for a year. That wasn't so great. And ultimately, you know, I don't need to pay for anything. The free stuff is there, and I can just do it in my head. I've done meditation for so long. And when I do meditate, I find my anxiety goes down. Gratitude helps me reset and realise that there's more to the world than just, I can't do this, or that's happened, or, you know, the stress you get when you work yourself up into something. Then the key is to breathe, relax, and look at it from a wider perspective. Will it even be in your memory in 5 years' time? Is it something important? Unless it's something really, really serious, it probably will pass. This too shall pass. So yeah, it's some different changes. So healthier, smoothies in the morning, that's really made a difference, I find, to wake me up, fill me up without being some sugary thing. I tend to eat porridge anyway, or overnight oats. I go through phases. Or nothing. So if I do have breakfast, it generally is healthy. I need to get my kids eating breakfast again. The little guy's good. My daughter is more like me. She'll avoid breakfast time, and then she goes to school, so she really needs to concentrate properly. Is that the weather alert again? Yes, I keep getting weather alerts about severe frost. Yeah, quite frosty. And on the meditation, if I don't manage to do meditation every morning, then I'm okay with it. If I don't manage to do my gratitude journal every morning, I'm okay with it. It doesn't have to be every day. I deliberately started everything before the new year. I didn't set a day of the 1st of January and go, from today, blah, blah, blah. We stopped drinking. I think I had a drink on New Year's Eve. I didn't have a drink a couple of days beforehand. Drank a bit too much over Christmas, not large amounts, but from day to day. I try not to drink 2 days in a row. I used to drink every day. I mean, we used to drink like fish. I think about how much we drank in our 20s and early 30s. It was so much. And honestly, I never really enjoyed it. I just went with the flow, this British pop culture. We brought it with us to Germany, and really, I love who I am when I don't drink. I love tea, I love water, I love juices. Sometimes I drink coffee even, if I can handle the anxiety and the stress with the caffeine. And sometimes a glass of wine is wonderful. Our friend bought us a bottle of Baileys, so I had some Baileys over Christmas, which was nice. And I want to be at the point where I can appreciate it and then not drink again the next day because, oh, that was kind of nice. But then I slept badly, I wake up stressed, I wake up tired, I wake up grumpy. And nobody wants that. So I'm a better person. I can meditate better if I have drunk alcohol. The effects are just amazing, the positive effects if I don't drink. So keep going on that. Didn't really drink the last 3-4 months anyway. In fact, when I started this YouTube channel, I wasn't drinking, so I do stuff when I don't drink. I just do stuff. I get my shit together basically and do stuff. So I did continue as much as I could over Christmas, but we did let our hair down a little bit. And now we're back on it. Back to normal tea, herbal tea, and just being healthier and doing things. And the fact that I didn't set a date where everything changed from one day to the next makes it easier just to slowly go into the new year. You know, the kids were asleep by 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve. My daughter was a bit poorly again, unfortunately. And we just stayed up till midnight, watched the fireworks. They go insane here, the fireworks. Everyone buys them. I think 5 people died in Germany because people shoot them at people on fire engines. We had them go in front of our car. It's dangerous. I mean, people are foolish, and they're talking about banning them in Germany, if possible, for personal use. Because it's a big deal here. Everyone sets off loads. We had sparklers, and that's all we needed. So we kept them for the next night, and the kids got to do them then. But we did have a fire pit on New Year's Eve. My son loves the tradition. We do this for the solstice. It was more for the solstice, but we didn't actually get to do it on solstice or Yule. So we did it for New Year's Eve, had a fire pit, wrote down our wishes, put some incense in that we wanted, like lavender or chamomile or rose petals that I've dried, depending what you actually want to achieve, like calmness or gentle, or maybe some cinnamon if you want it to be quick working, explosive, kind of fiery, or cayenne pepper, whatever. Even write on some bay leaves. Bay leaves are good for abundance, bringing in abundance, not just money, but say for happiness or things like that. And we did that, and we wrote them, and we threw them in the fire, and they burnt up, and we could smell everything, and it was beautiful, and it was great. So my little guy drew pictures because he can't write yet, and my daughter wrote everything, and I wrote some stuff, and it was just a nice family evening. So it's fine, and I'm happy with it, because ultimately I'm a bit of an indoor cat. I quite like staying in, and I don't like going out much. I used to go out a lot, and I used to drink my way through it. I think that was it. I drank to deal with going out, when ultimately I'm actually a huge introvert and I just want to be indoors. So yeah, happy being inside, happy talking to just a camera. So I think I'll wrap it up. It's going to be maybe quite a long video, see how much I can edit out with my yakety yak. And I hope everyone has a great start to the new year. Write in the comments what you're doing, what's different, what you're continuing, what are some great habits that you can stick to for the whole year. I'd love to hear what everyone else is doing and be inspired. And have a good start, and stay safe and stay warm for those in the Northern Hemisphere, and enjoy the summer for those in the Southern Hemisphere. And I shall see you in the next one. Thank you, and cheerio!